Well, there's a lot of things, I suppose, that I worry about, but and some of these things will seem esoteric to people. The birth rate is very low in almost every country, and it's something, unless that changes, civilization will disappear. America had the lowest birth rate, I believe, ever. That was last year. Places like Korea, the birth rate is 1/3 replacement rate. So that means in 3 generations, Korea will be 3 or 4% of its current size. And nothing seems to be turning that around. Humanity is dying. And people, it's just not something we evolved to react to. And I worry generally about the strength of America. America is the central column that holds up all of Western civilization. So if you've got the temple of Western civilization, America is the central column. If that column fails, it's all over. You can't run off to New Zealand or some other place. It's over. So either we strengthen that column and make sure America is strong and will be strong for a long time, or that roof's coming down.
So as birth rates continue to decline in America, the White House is looking into offering $5,000 cash bonus.
Yes, the issue of low birth rate is triggering the love. I don't know if you've seen this. The views on Hostin suggests Trump's new $5,000 baby bonus concept is racially motivated and is being proposed to get white people to start having kids. I was shocked when I saw this clip because it can only be from these people. I understand that Sonette Hostin spent her entire life race baiting. It is insane that in 2025, there are still people doing this. Trump came out with this concept, they have a target to meet with Dodge. Like, if we have this, we should be able to give this social amount to people to be able to, that was a good suggestion. But the way these people are taking it, it portrays a different message. And to me, it is insane.
Because when I look at something like this, these proposals, I want to know why, and I want to know who's making them. And so when I looked into that, they're saying that the U.S. birth rate is declining. However, in 2024, there was a 1% increase in U.S. births. But that increase was with Hispanic mothers and Asian mothers. So they don't seem to be concerned about that increase. They seem to be more concerned about a decrease in other populations.
Say it.
No, I think I said enough.
It's not based on that.
And so, well, it's just based on a study. And so the other thing,
but have they said that anywhere? I mean, I feel like it has to be fair.
It's just
fair to who?
It's just a.
Have they said that this is to target only white families?
Oh, I didn't say that.
You
I
have to read between the lines.
I just gave the stats.
But it's about economics. They're wanting people to pay in.
I'm just giving.
Grammy Award-winning singer John Legend claims President Trump believes the white race is superior. Legend, who is husband to Chrissy, said America made a terrible decision and will have to suffer the consequences for voting for Trump.
That I strongly disagree with, and it seems that we are reaping the whirlwind right now. Putting someone who is a terrible leader, especially in crisis, he's already out blaming people, misinforming people, dividing people, when a smart and responsible and good political way to handle it would have been to bring people together.
Oh, absolutely. That's what you want.
Be a comforter in chief,
Why do you think that he's latched on to diversity so much?
Oh, he's a bigot, so. It's a belief that there's a hierarchy of racial groups and that his group is superior, genetically superior. He believes that.
Right.
Whenever he talks about competence and qualifications, any white man will do for him. Look at the last guy who was Secretary of Defense. He was a 4-star general, supremely qualified black man. And then see who he puts in after him. That's the level of bigotry that he has. Any white man is better than that.
You see the problem? Look at this. Like I said, if you see people constantly circulating things around race, there are problems, and this guy is just one. And they just point out the reasons why he hates Trump. I want to know the instance where Trump is struggling to divide people. I want to know. Because what he's claiming here is not true. At a certain point, when I look at John Legend, he's not a legend to me anymore. At first, I used to have a different impression about this guy.
So as birth rates continue to decline in America, the White House is looking into offering $5,000 cash bonuses, expanded access to IVF, along with other incentives for women to have more babies.
Why?
And, okay. I am incredibly insulted by this because clearly they don't know how women's bodies work, and they don't know what it costs to raise a child or just have a child. And $5,000? I don't know what $5,000 is supposed to do. And it's not even $5,000 because you have to cut it in half because you got to pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
So they're offering you $2,500 to have a baby. Now, don't forget about all the stuff they've cut.
Yeah. Right, we have a
That
list
you
of
need.
that.
Yes, you have a list.
Yep.
So I'm supposed to say to you all, and are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You excited about it?
Well, I'm not going to turn down a $5,000 check, but I think there are. I
think you will.
Well,
$2,500, babe.
But you had three. You're going to have more.
You're missing my point. That's a line. Thank you, comedians, for ruining that. But what I was going to say is it's like putting a Band-Aid on a deeper problem. We don't have paid family leave in this country. We don't have subsidized childcare. We have the highest maternal mortality rate, and the next it's 55% higher than the second place. That's a lot for one of the wealthiest country in the world. That's a problem. That's where we could work on some of these programs, and that $5,000. So when you look at cesarean section,
$2,500, babe.
Okay, it's even worse than that.
It depends on your tax bracket.
It depends on your tax, but adding like essential supplies on top of your medical costs, whether you're covered for insurance or not, you're looking at about $16,000 in the first year, and that's a conservative estimate. So it's just not touching the surface on this. But I'm one of those people that I feel that the Earth is overpopulated. So when it comes to
Then why do they want us to have more babies?
well, they want more babies because it affects not only the workforce but paying into entitlement
The social
programs.
safety
But
net.
what I would say is this is a short. They're missing the greater point. AI is going to be a problem for our entitlement programs way before the birth rate.
What entitlement program?
So
Like
like
the social safety
security,
net.
if you have less people working in the workforce, you have less people paying into a system that eventually has to pay. It's going to bankrupt the social services.
Yes, just imagine that this was proposed by a Democrat, let's say Kamala Harris. You will see how the mainstream media will carry this news. The View will be excited. They will praise it to a level never seen before. But because it is strong, their mentality and covering will always be different. It is crazy, like what is going on with these people. When I look at the situation, like Trump coming out with this idea, this is something that a normal human being will look into and appreciate. Yeah, this is a good thing, Take the money. Sometimes when I look at calculating the views, though I haven't even watched them, I decided to watch this video simply because I wanted to react on it. Sonny Austin to me is the worst person on this show. She doesn't make sense sometimes. If it's not about race, I don't know what exactly Sonny Austin can talk about.
It's not about, it's about making sure that there is white supremacy in this country. And if we're honest, we will say that. It is about making sure we will make sure that people who, DEI is really all these cold words. You used to use woke. I asked you to define what woke meant. You couldn't really define it for me. Tell me what it means again.
Woke ideology is taking extreme views of American culture and trying to tear down America from the inside out and go outside
so
of our
let me ask you-
cultural norms and
what is-
invade
what
every
is-
corporation,
okay,
university,
what is
and
DEI?
other institutions.
What is DEI?
That's incorrect.
Tell me that's incorrect. But what is DEI? Tell me
DEI,
again. Because it
diversity,
looks like,
equity, and
but
inclusion,
it
trying
looks
to
like- it looks
guarantee
like
outcomes
every
instead of
single
guarantee
person in
opportunity.
Trump's cabinet looks like DEI.
Years ago, when white people are the dominant group. How do you pin them down, though, on that?
How do we pin
The fact that restricting abortion access was Jane Crow part one, and that then incentives to procreate that are very specifically tailored to specific groups are part two. How do you make the subtext textual?
I'm curious what if Black and Latina and Asian women said, sign me up? Like all these programs that you're offering, let's see if they will still offer them.
You can see how some people are still obsessed with race issues. Look at this. In 2025, this is still a topic that is blowing out on the mainstream media, and The View can't even stop. Thank you guys for always been sharing all my videos. God bless you abundantly. For my new subscribers, this is what you'll be seeing every single day when you tune in, because I put this every day.
Sarah. She's even came.
But what if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one.
Keep in her own bedroom. She's even said all of those things.
Followers for anything, and then the
Registration Act is
talking about this man kill